Like girls in this case, they are literally like, no matter what a girl is going through or what's happening in her life, they are actually able to take care of their health and their mental well-being. They know like what mental space is. Meanwhile, boys on the other end, देखी जाएगी, कर लेंगे भाई. Like what are you doing भाई? BS that I have worked so hard, so I'm gonna give myself a well deserved break. Listen it again. Well deserved break. So what I'll do is I'll pick up my phone and I'll scroll the social media algorithms. You dumb. If you have earned the rest, why don't you let your body rest? I'm that guy. I can't live without food. I need food. Very simple. I need food. Food makes happy. Happy Vaibhav delivers good results. So I need food. In India, hundreds of people are hospitalized every day, and they are not the poor. There are people like you and me who are working, who have something of their own, and who are working for their own selves. And would you want to know the reasons? Lack of sleep, stress, anxiety, the basics of not being hydrated properly, of not giving your vital organs the proper amount of water intake, not fulfilling your daily caloric intake. Like these are the reasons people are ending up in hospitals. All I understand is like if you cannot build your own body, if you cannot take care of your own body, and you are thinking that you are going to build something that's going to change lives and you are going to impact a lot of people, it starts from you. So if your body isn't in your control, what other dynamics do you think you can control? And this is, I'm only targeting, only mentioning the people who have created these problems for their own selves. I'm not talking about people who are born differently, who are differently abled. I'm not talking about them. Talking about people who are creating these problems because of their own stupidness that they are labeling under the hustle culture. Look, I have worked with over 40 plus clients globally. That means like I have worked till 5 a.m. Indian Standard Time because it was 5 p.m. in my client's time zone. I have worked in those extreme conditions where time was really a constraint. And there has never been a day that I sleep frequently on 3-4 hours basis, that I do not fulfill my caloric intake, that I do not take care of my body, I do not hit the gym or I do not go for a jog or something like that. My health has been my number one priority since the very beginning, because if I can't take care of myself, I can't take care of my business, and then eventually it's going to collapse because I will not be able to take care of my client's business. And we are in the service based business. We need to do everything that makes sense, and it starts from your own self. The main reason for this video is like every day, whenever I open my news feed, whenever I open the newspaper, I see people of my age group, people even younger than me, or maybe 2 3 years older than me. They are like ending up hospitalized, and then all of a sudden they become this nutrition guy, that you should do this, you should do that. Brother, you were in the hospital 3 days ago. You are in no place to give me that advice. Because if you would have followed it before you ended in the hospital, you wouldn't have even ended up in the hospital. So do not listen to these people. The main concern that I have right now is people between the age group of 20 to 30. You are working, you are putting your body through literally a lot of stress, and because we are young, we are obviously, our body is going to manage it. But eventually, with time, you have to change this lifestyle. Now, I'm not against that. I'm against those people who are advocating 3 4 hours of sleep, that who are literally advocating the hustle culture. And what is the goddamn hustle culture? Like, if you are doing something that you enjoy and you do not have a time track while doing that thing, I don't think it is a bad thing, until unless you are not compromising on your health and the basics of human living. Well, I noticed one very crazy thing. Like, I see the Zomato price shooting up and up through the roof, because like I avidly follow the stock market, I'm an investor and all that stuff. So I saw that on one end you are saying that Swiggy Zomato is promoting unhealthy food. On the other end, every day in the newspaper, in the digital outlets, publications, Twitter, especially Twitter, you see people ending up in hospital because they didn't even had enough food. The two extremes we are living in, like, it sometimes make me go bonkers. Like, what is actually happening? If you ask me who is at fault, it's the whole goddamn person, the living human being, who actually didn't even cared about his body in the first place, and now all of a sudden they care about their body. Like, you guys ain't no commandos. Why? You are not in the army. You are not somebody who is going through a rigorous extensive training every single day, that you have to engage in fist combat, or a situation where your life is at the line and there is a lot at stake. You are not preparing for that. You are not in that routine. You are just a human being who is trying to make a living. You are building something, you are doing something, you want to do something, then that kind of stuff. You are no goddamn commandos. And 95% of you just get ready of a laptop and your mobile phone for 2 hours a day, and you won't even have all those problems that you have created in your head. But it's easy to say to people, but the people are never gonna follow it. I followed it. My screen on time on my mobile device is hardly 2 hours a day. And that too is because I put a few YouTube videos in the background, and it counts to most of the watch hours that I have on my phone. I had this observation that animals, if you look at them, they do not care about the environmental change. They literally adapt to it. You cut down a forest, they are going to come to the villages and eat people because that's their natural instinct. But on the other hand, humans, like animals, they don't complain. But you, my friend, all we do is complain. And let me ask you a simple question. When was the last time you sat 3 hours, 3 hours, I'm saying 180 minutes without your mobile device? When? When was the last time you just sat without your mobile, with you, your brain, and your thoughts, and you actually figured out what's going on? Like we all say, like boys, for boys, it's over when they hit this pose. How many times have you actually hit it? Because when a man hits this pose while thinking something, that means that his life and he is gathering his shit together. It's gonna work out eventually well. But at that time, if I would have that mobile here, it won't be that pose. Like you don't get what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is that you listen to me, you appreciate me. But the thing is that you are not living in the natural reality. Remember those times when you do not have that smartphones, when it was just that is the Nokia 3310 and other Nokia N73 type of phones, the keypad ones with not this much amount of technology that we are exposed to. Like our childhood and the childhood of a child who is 3 4 years old is this drastic different. And that was the reason when eventually in our summer vacations we used to go to bed by 10 or 11 because we couldn't actually stay up because we were tired throughout the day. We were doing a lot of stuff that didn't involve technology, and we were not involved in other people's life. We were just so full of ourselves, and that was very good. That was literally the best time of everyone's life, until unless you have that kind of childhood trauma. Like even if you had that trauma, there are some good things that must have happened to you throughout your childhood. At least one single day would have been very good. Those summer vacations of third class when you were in grade 3, if you get those summer vacations right now, if your office or you decide to go on a break for 30 days, it is not going to be the same. You will not enjoy like you used to when you were a kid. The reason? Because now you have one thing that is going everywhere and literally everywhere with you. That is, yeah, your mobile devices. Your brain is actually full of all this crap you are throwing at it every single day. Like I sat down without my mobile for 3 days straight when I am on a vacation, and god, it is so peaceful. 24 hours are a lot until unless you decide to play on a YouTube video or you start doing something. And I'm saying this on YouTube, so please do not quote that irony died here, irony died, and all that kind of stuff. Another question is very simple. How many people that you know, like you would have went to gatherings, a sleepover at a friend's home or something like that, how many of the people you personally know who actually sleep without using their mobile device? I can bet even you watch your phone before sleeping. And if you don't, just let me know in the comment section. I can bet most of you watch it and you stimulatize your brain. People are watching some another guy in a different part of the world filling a bottle of glass filled with pebbles and all that stuff, and he is rolling it down a staircase, and people are watching it like 20 30 million views. Like, kya kar raha hai bhai? Is it why you were born? Is it your purpose? Like, what are you consuming? Like, what it does in your life? Like, okay, if I will throw a bottle full of glass filled with pebbles on a staircase, it will break on the fourth stair. What? Well, if you ask me, hustling isn't bad. And as someone who actually works a lot, I can advocate for it. But the thing is, when you are 22, the kind of abuse your body can take, abuse here in terms of the extreme pressure you put on your body while working, it's different when you approach 30 or 35. How do I know it? Because I have a good friend circle, dude. Now, obviously, like, this is our advantage as young people. We can abuse our body more. We can put in more amount of work. Like we can work for 15 hours for say. But why then compromise on the sleep? Why? Most of you, if you just cut out your mobile usage while working, You will think that you will actually be able to complete a 6-hour task in 2 hours. Like these corporate offices, what do you think? People are checking in at 9 and they are like logging out at 6. They're working for 9 straight hours. That's not happening. The actual work, ask any corporate employee and they will say that our actual work is of only 2 to 3 hours. The rest of the time, unnecessary meetings, unnecessary gossips, unnecessary toxicity, and all that other kind of crap. Like if I even exclude the lunch, then also you have 8 hours, but out of that, you are only working out for 3 hours, and people are wasting so much time. There are 24 hours in a day. Even if you sleep for 8 hours, you still have 16 hours left. You enjoy for 6 hours, you still have 10 hours of time left. What is so urgent? Have you ever sat down and reflected in on it, like what is it that I'm doing that I do not have time to sleep and let my body recover? And the matter of fact that I'm just below 25. Have you ever thought that what am I doing at this age of 22 or 23 or 25 or how old you are, like if even if you are below 30, like what am I doing that I do not have time to sleep? You won't. Think about it now. And like freelancers have glorified this a lot. Business owners, 1% I can understand. Like business owners, they are in a different league. Freelancers, dude, why? Why you have to work for 18, 19 hours? What's happening? And when it's coming from me, I can tell you, I have worked with multi-million dollar businesses where it is cutthroat competition, and to acquire users, we literally give it our all to get people on board. I have worked in extreme different time zones of 12 and a half hours difference. I have worked till 6 a.m. in the morning when I sat down at 6 p.m. I have worked like straight like that. Yet I was able to maintain my diet, homemade food I'm talking about. I was able to maintain my sleep. I was able to conserve my mental space and I didn't waste time on these social media platforms. All I'm saying is that even if you are wasting time, that's fine. But when you are working, try and figure out a way that is efficient, that works the best for you, because most of you do not have a way. Most of you won't even have a schedule. Who am I actually talking to, man? You don't even have a schedule. You don't know what you have to do throughout the day. The goddamn main reason for this whole hustle culture toxicity is having not control of your own time. Wait, what? Like, you are a freelancer, you are supposed to control your own time, right? Yeah, you are supposed to control your own time, but you are miserably failing at it because your phone is controlling you. Instagram, Twitter are controlling you. Your social media timelines are controlling you. You are not in charge of your time. Get this goddamn thing out of your head. You aren't. Like, you guys are literally glued to your screen. Like, glued to your screen. That's the word I'm gonna use. And you aren't doing anything, and you are just going through the scroll effect, and you think you are doing something productive. And even if you scroll for 1.5 hour or maybe half hour or 1 hour and then you try to get back to work, you can't. It takes energy to scroll, it takes your mental energy to scroll down and do all the stuff. Like, only if people take their sleep as seriously as they think about checking their TL every morning, then things could have been different. And like another thing I would like to point out, it what is this goddamn BS that I have worked so hard, so I'm gonna give myself a well deserved break. Listen it again. Well deserved break. So what I'll do is I'll pick up my phone and I'll scroll the social media algorithms. You dump. If you have earned the rest, why don't you let your body rest? Why don't you let it rest too? Why don't you let your brain rest so that it can come up with something more fruitful, more meaningful, and something that can actually make you more money by utilizing your time properly? Why can't you do this very one simple thing? Like, what's so big in it? That, like, are you too weak that you are controlled by an unknown enemy, an unseen enemy, that like a thing that doesn't actually exist? It is controlling you. You are that weak. You are weak, bhai. You are weak. What infuriates me the most is that these people who are living with their parents, and then you have the audacity, like you end up in the hospital while living with your parents, and the reason, I didn't had food on time. Are you that dumb? Like, what are you like? I can literally, I want to say that stuff that will actually censor me, so I'll restrain myself from saying it. But you are too dumb. Literally, people are here away from their hometowns, living alone, doing all the stuff, and they will literally die for their homemade food. And you living with your parents, like living with your parents means that anytime when you want to have a word with them, you just open this goddamn door. You go outside, you sit on the sofa, you put on the TV or you close the TV or whatever, and you have a word with them. People are working here 12 hours a day, and they need to take out time from schedule to have a word with their parents, and most of the times they don't even know what their parents are going through. And you are living with your parents and you are ending up in hospitals because of not having a proper diet. Like, I don't know about anyone else, and I don't think that this is even a possibility that anyone's mother is actually not going to take care of the nutrition of the food that her son or her daughter needs to have. Like, it is completely so stupid of you to be hospitalized because of not having proper food while living at home. If you are getting hospitalized, living at home with food deficiency, and you think you are doing something great in your life and you will achieve something really great in your life, let me break it to you right now, you aren't going anywhere. Aren't. You have the biggest cheat code right in front of you. You are living with those cheat codes. Like, your parents are literally cheat codes because they are literally twice the age of yours. They have seen more world than you have. And yet, you forgot this basic simple rule. Like, this infuriates me the most, and I guess it's kind of visible when I say, because I myself understand when I am getting furious. And one more phenomenon, like girls in this case, they are literally, like, no matter what a girl is going through or what's happening in her life, they are actually able to take care of their health and their mental well-being. They know like what mental space is, how it isn't affected, how it isn't affected, how you have to take care of your body and all that kind of stuff. Meanwhile, boys on the other end, देखी जाएगी, कर लेंगे भाई. Like, what are you doing, bhai? Boys are built different in this case and in a very negative manner. Like, you're getting hospitalized, bhai, while living with your parents. Like, hey, you failed as a kid, bhai. Like, because of you. And when you are hospitalized, it like you have to go to the hospital with your parents. Imagine a doctor sitting there and figuring out this case. Like, this kid, 23 years old, so-called entrepreneur, building a team, or think talking about work-life balance on his timeline. Yeah, nice. And is having this glucose drip inside because he didn't had food even while living with his parents. I have this very simple three-step approach because, like, see, I wasn't this gone case. I never, like, I'm that guy. I can't live without food. I need food. Very simple. I need food. Food makes happy. Happy Vaibhav delivers good results. So I need food, and I need it on time. So if my stomach is saying eat something, I am going to figure out what is the most healthiest and nutritionist option that I have in the kitchen that I can eat, because I'm not a very big fan of eating outside until unless I have spent like 7, 8, 9 days without eating from outside. Like, once a week, once a month, twice a month is fine. Not the everyday guy, like every alternate day I'm eating Swiggy, Zomato. Nah, nah, can't. Like, so I eat like that. Like, I function like that. That's actually very unrelated to the topic, but if you are watching it till here, that means you are interested. So why not share this minute detail? Well, the three-step approach to fix this thing is fix your goddamn mind, fix it, fix your sleep schedule, and then master when you have the time. Please fix and go through your priority list. You can't have priorities. It's always a priority. Once you check one priority, you replace it with the other priority, then with the other, and then other. It's not priorities, it's priority. Operate like that. What other options do you think people have to get out of this whole hustle culture thing and bring their life on track? Do write it down in the comment section. Also, like if you enjoyed the video, and subscribe to the channel because I'm going to put out more such real and raw content, because I've figured out some things and they are going to roll out in the initial coming days. And share this with someone who is having a very bad schedule. You know that they need to watch this, and tell them that watch this instead of scrolling your TL for constant 1 hour. Might be able to do something good with your time. Until then, it's Vaibhav signing off. सोने से बढ़िया चीज बनी ही नहीं है आज तक.